Hello friends, this is Ifa. Welcome to the yearly reading journal video of 2025. I'm going to use the old notebook that I used in 2024, which is the Positive Pages notebook, and this is the ducky one. It's so cute, and definitely I'm using this because last year I had a goal to read at least 20 books, and I knew that 20 to 30 book reviews are not going to fill up this notebook because this is a huge and chunky notebook. It has 192 pages, which is a huge number of pages, and I believe if you're using this as your bullet journal, you might adjust your whole year into one notebook. So I am going to use this notebook as my reading journal for 2025 as well. I almost reached to the halfway of the notebook, even though it's very less than half, but I think in 2025 I'm going to use all of the pages from this notebook. So let's get into the first page, which is the cover page of my reading journal setup for this year. Here I am going to use the autumnal collection, which I was gifted by Paper Monogatari from last year, and I wanted to use this as my September reading journal update, but I was a little late to make that video as I had other things to do and I couldn't film that video. But yeah, I had this lovely collection on my hand and I couldn't resist to use this as my yearly setup because it's gorgeous and I like autumnal colors a lot. So here, as you can see, I'm using this circle fox sticker as the cover page, and behind it I am layering some washi papers and washi tapes here. The washi papers are also from Paper Monogatari's last year's autumnal collection, but the washi tape is from my own shop, which is the warm tartan pattern. And I believe that these three papers and washi tape looks really nice together. If you have watched my January plan with me, I also used this combination there, and I absolutely like how this spread turning out because it's very minimal and I didn't want to go with too much for this cover page. For the washi papers, I always use glue stick because it's very difficult to use any kind of wood roller tape on them, and it kind of feels really messy when I use glue sticks, even though I'm trying my best not to get them on my hand or on my nails because it might transfer everywhere. And underneath the cover page, I'm making the headers with my sticker sheet, which is basically this alphabet sticker sheet. It definitely goes with the autumnal colors and I like how it turned out. And here I am just making the title Reading 2025. It turned out quite nice. I'm very happy about the decorations and the spread, and also this lovely and gorgeous sticker here. The next spread, besides this cover page, I am making my TBR spread. I have a whole books to check out spread in the beginning of this notebook, and I have a page left, so I didn't bother to make a large TBR spread here in this year, and that's why I am making this one page TBR spread, because I know that if I want more things to write, I will make another spread after finishing the whole setup. And I'm going to left 1 or 2 pages before I go to the monthly book reviews. So yeah, this year I'm planning to update my reading journal in monthly basis because as I'm listening to audiobooks and also reading to the physical books, I found that I am reading a lot, and audiobooks are making my life easier because I rarely have time to read books, and when I spend my leisure time, I sometimes watch some series or dramas because sometimes I just like to go with the trends or any shows that I love. So whenever I work or design or edit any videos or anything, or like I'm doing my chores, I always listen to audiobooks, and that definitely makes me a lot lighter than when I'm listening to any music. And definitely music is not a good thing for my ear when I'm working, because I almost tend to work for 3 to 4 hours at a straight. Last year it was my goal not to listen too much songs, and I should listen to some audiobooks while I'm working, and definitely that gives me a lot of joy. Definitely it makes me a little calm, and I enjoy my work as well. So if you think that audiobook is not a way of reading, I don't know, because I enjoy listening to audiobooks. And sometimes when I have a whole novel to finish them up, I do have the physical book, but also I don't have the time. I prefer to listen to the audiobooks, because definitely I want to know what's going on in this book, but I don't have much time. So yeah, and that's it for the first 2 pages, which is this TBR list. Here I'm just lining out with this brown fine liner from the Tombow brush pen, and also I'm using this Unipin fine liner in brown shade. These two combination goes very well. I'm using these sticker sheets from Paper Monogatari from this autumnal collection, and also here the washi tape which I have used is also from the exact collection. You may not find these because these are the limited edition collection, and she launched this for a time period, so if they get sold out, it's gone forever. So be sure to check her website, because she is one of the talented person whom I met in this community, and I absolutely like her products. And after these 2 pages, I am going to make my reading goals. And this year I'm pretty much inspired from Heather from Mochibujo and Plant-Based Bride. They make the loveliest spreads. So in this spread, I'm going to make 3 things. One is a reading tracker where I will track the days when I'm listening to the audiobooks or reading any physical books. And I kind of made a little bit of mistake here, so I just used a paper. I wanted to use a paper from these notebooks, and I didn't have anything cut out as a Dutch door before. That's why I am cutting out one of the papers here, because that spread, the next spread is going to be a Dutch door. So in this tracker, I have spaced out 1 to 31 on the left column, and in the top I just noted the month, because this is going to be represent my whole year, and I will mark with some kind of notations to track my readings. And this year I have started with one of a series, and I'm going to mark that out later. And besides it, I am spacing 42 boxes, and I'm using the Notebook Therapist stencils to make this kind of rounded squares. And here I have spaced out about 6 by 7 boxes, and that makes the 42 boxes. And this is basically a tracker that I'm going to fill out whenever I read any books. Last year I didn't included this spread idea, because I found that as I am sticking some notebook covers as a sticker or paper cutouts in a spread, I thought that I don't need that. And this year my goal is a little higher, like I want to at least read 42 books. So I wanted to have a tracker to track out whenever I finish a book, and this is a fun part. That's why I just made this spread, and I might just color the boxes, or I might cross it out. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I believe coloring these spreads are going to be much more easier and lovelier. In the top, I wanted to have a large header, but later I found that I'm not good at making large calligraphic fonts, so I thought I should make my life easier, and I'm using some rubber stamps. In the top, I also use some washi tapes from my own shop, and this is the bookshelves washi tape from the cottagecore collection. And for this spread I am going to use some autumnal colors. As my theme is an autumnal color, I'm using some pet tips from Notebook Therapies into the fall collection. In the empty spaces I am just spacing out a few lines with the zebra mild liner in neutral color, and this is the beige one, and I have spaced it out because I wanted to write my goals here, like which series that I want to read or I want to finish in this year, also how many books I want to finish in which month or so. That's it, the whole spread, and I really like how pretty it looks with this warm toned autumnal colors. And the next spread is a Dutch door, which is the books in 2025. I'm not going to decorate this spread too much because it's going to be filled out with a lot of colors with the book covers that I'm going to read in 2025. So I just made a little Dutch door here by cutting out the top page, and also I rounded the corners. Here I'm using the large silicone stamps, and I have stamped out books in 2025, and for the spaces to mark them out I just made the same kind of box like I did in the TBR page, and that's it. And for the decorations in the top I just used some washi tapes and some washi papers, and that's it for this spread. This is one of the minimal spread that I made, honestly. And yeah, the next spread that I'm going to make is my monthly rating spread, and here in the spread I'm going to write the names of the books and the ratings that I'm going to add for the book as a review into this spread, so that I can see which month I read which book and how much stars I have given to that specific book. And this spread is inspired by Heda from Mochi Bujo, and I kind of imitate her layout here, but in a simpler way from this year's setup from her. And here for the header I just used silicone lowercase stamp set to make the title monthly rating, and in the bottom I have used an orange gel pen from Zebra Sarasa warm toned gel pen set. I have marked out a larger space for the book writing, and besides it I have also spaced a place where I can read them. And my goal is to read at least 3 to 4 books each month. That's why I spaced out each boxes with 4 grids. And also in the left column I'm going to write the short form of the monthly header, like Jan for January, Feb for February, and so on. And for the decoration I'm using some washi tapes from my own shop and some washi tape from Paper Monogatari, and I didn't want it to make too much decorations in it, so I just concentrated in the top where I added the header and the bottom part, which is quite empty. And I've used the same kind of autumnal tones here, as you can see, and that's why it looks much more cohesive. I know it's not autumn, it's the winter, but I love autumnal colors. And last year I kind of make light and dark academia and vintage, so this year I wanted to go with a autumnal vibe, and it really makes the whole setup very cohesive and made it very pretty. The next spread that I'm going to make is the series tracker page. I have read 5 series in 2024. There are some ongoing series, so I wanted to finish that series if there's a new book is added into that series, like Equator or the Murder Mystery of Cleopatra Fox. I've read 6 books from Cleopatra Fox Mystery series. This series is still ongoing, so I need a specific tracker to track out which book I have read. And like this, I have another series like Echoter. I only read 2 books fully and half of a book in 2024, and I need to read the other books from this series as well. So here I am adding this series tracker. The decoration is very simple. I just use some washi tapes here and there just to add a little bit of decoration into this spread. And besides this series tracker spread, I wanted to make reading bingo spread because it's one of my favorite spreads to make in reading journals. So basically the reading bingo has some topics or some points of a book, like any kind of genre. Then if the protagonist is male or female, then the writer is male or female. Then if it's horror or thriller or romance or any kind of genre and other stuffs. And last year I made my own version of reading bingo, and this year I haven't thought any bingo prompts when I was making this setup. If you want to suggest me any kind of prompt for this bingo, let me know in the comments, and I might fill this up in January, and I will try my best to post it on my social media like Instagram, or you can see that in the January reading journal video. So yeah, and for the reading journal I have spaced out 5x5 spaces, and I'm using a stamp to mark out the middle portion of this reading bingo. So that's it for this reading bingo as well. And for the header, I'm using the alphabet stickers which goes with this washi tape. That's it for this spread as well. This is one of the easiest spread that I made in this whole setup. I'm using these circle stencils here to mark out the spaces for books, and here as you can see I've marked out a few books to denote up to which I have read out from that series. So yeah, that's it for this spread, and I have used these pet tips again to decorate the empty spaces from the bingo spread because it's kinda looks very empty. And that's it for this easy spread as well. And here comes the last spread that I am making, is inspired from Elizabeth from Plant-Based Bride, and this is the spread where I'm going to choose my favorite book from each month. And here I'm making a tree from the top as I am using a A5 size notebook. This tree was little difficult to make because Elizabeth's spread has been made in a square notebook, and it was pretty nice to look at, but I don't think that I can make it vertically as cannot space out that much space into this A5 size notebook. So I've thought that I should make a lot taller spaces for the first one so that I can write them vertically, so that I can space the 12 boxes here. I hope that makes sense. And the next thing that I am doing is to make a bracket from 2 of the month each. So first of all, this spread is going to be filled up after we go through the whole year, and then I will pick each of the books from that specific month and I will write here. Then I will choose one book from 2 consecutive months like January and February, and I will write them in the next box. And in this column we are going to have 6 books because we have 12 months, and from them we have sorted out 6 favorite books. In the next row we are going to have only 3 books chosen from that 6 books, and then finally we're going to have the winner, because that's the easiest way to make this tree. I have this kind of rating spread in my 2024 reading journal as well, but that is basically not for every month. I made that in a quarter based. So I'm going to finish my reading journal update very soon, and we're going to have a flip through. In that flip through video, I'm going to use that quarterly rating spread with you, so you will see what this spread is worked for. But if you're still curious about how this spread works, I will suggest you to watch the flip through videos from Plant-Based Bright. So that's it for the last spread as well. And here for the decoration, I am using this washi tapes as in the corner, and I also use these washi papers to decorate the space of it. And for the title, I just spaced out the book of the year title, and I have also used some clear sticker from Paper Monogatari, and this is one of the easiest spread to make. I didn't want to decorate it too much, just to make it look simpler, as the tree was looking too much. And yeah, that's it for this last spread as well. Later I will skip some pages just to make sure that if I read more books and I need some spaces where I can stick the book covers, or I need another page for TBR. I don't use index for my reading journal yet because I haven't read too much in the whole year, and yeah, I hope that I at least reach to my goals, like 36 to 40 books, I believe. And I have spaced out 42 books in my reading goals, because what if I just read too much from my goals? Anyways, that's it for this whole video. I hope you liked this video, because it's one of my favorite time to set up a new yearly reading journal, and this is the second year which I'm starting for my reading journals, and definitely I'm very excited to fill these spreads and to read some new books that are listed in my TBR spread from 2024, and I will write some new books that I have launched in last year. So yeah, I hope you like this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing to my channel, because that helps me a lot to make this kind of videos, and also share it to your friends who you think like this kind of reading journal setup. So that's it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.